All right, back here on Sportsline, talking pretty much all things tonight. You can take it any direction you want the conversation to go, by the way. 737-7767, the number, if you want to be a part of the program. Predators, I promised an update. They lead 3-2 in the second period. Ryan Ellis with the power play goal. So after 6 games without a power play goal where they really struggled, they got one Saturday night. Now they have 2 tonight. Roman Josi got the first one. Ryan Ellis' last one. Victor Arvidsson a goal in between as well. Preds lead at 3-2. Ottawa scored right after the Ellis goal to get back within 1 late in the second period over there in Smashville. The Preds try and snap a 2-game losing streak and get this week off to a good start, because after tonight they go to Detroit, who they just lost to on Saturday. Have to play them again tomorrow night in the brand new Little Caesars Arena. Then it's back home Thursday against the Sharks, and then Sunday an 11 a.m. puck drop against the division rival Blues. So another big week for the Preds here as they try to get themselves back into first place and contend for home ice advantage throughout the playoffs in the Western Conference. We said off the top of the show, Mike Vrabel's coaching staff completed last week. Dean Pease, obviously a huge piece of that as his defensive coordinator, a guy who's been a veteran around the league, spent a lot of time in New England with Vrabel, coached Vrabel there, also spent the last several seasons as the defensive coordinator in Baltimore. He's had a bunch of top 10 defenses. He has had really consistent efforts up front. He's had pretty good secondaries. Not a guy that's blitzed a ton, but he has been aggressive at times, more so in the last couple of years. John Burton now with a look at Dean Pease and the defensive philosophy, because remember, Mike Vrabel's a defensive coach. He comes as the defensive coordinator from Houston, comes to Nashville to be the Titans head coach. So you know he's going to have influence on this. Pease has a track record. He's 68 years old. He's been around the league for a long time. So what exactly is this Titans defense going to look like? Here's John Burton.
Into his retirement, all it took was a simple phone call from new Titans head coach Mike Vrabel to lure Dean Pease back to the NFL.
Number one was Mike. Mike convinced me, and you know, I felt really humbled that a guy that I coached would ask me to come back and be persistent on maybe me coming here. And also looking at the Titans and how they've been playing, and that the arrow is very much up on this organization and the way that they've been playing.
Pease won Super Bowls as a defensive coach for both the Patriots and Ravens, and he's quite familiar with Vrabel from their days in New England, which he says should make the transition that much smoother.
You know, he talked about being multiple up front and kind of consistent in the back end, and that's exactly what we are. So it's not like I could come in and change philosophy. He wouldn't have hired me if I didn't have the same philosophy.
Over the years, Pease has built a reputation for being an aggressive defensive play caller. And with several skilled players returning in 2018, Pease has no plans to change his philosophy here in Tennessee. And he's got a clear view as to what kinds of players he's looking for.
Tough, physical, smart, and giving great effort. And we want to be aggressive. You know, we want to be on the attack. And that's what I want our defense to be known for.
At 68 years of age, Pease says he's here for the long haul. And he can't wait to get started building the Titans defense.
Building a defense is like building a baseball team. You got to go right up the middle. I mean, a nose guard can make up for a lot of mistakes that somebody else doesn't. You get the 2 inside backers, you get the safeties. Look, they're all of equal importance.
Pease, the Titans defensive coordinator there, and what he's going to bring to Nashville. And you can tell he's a guy who commands the room because he's done it for a long time. How he makes this unit work is going to be interesting, I think, for sure. My questions are, what's he do in the secondary? That is an area of concern still. You have Logan Ryan from last year. Obviously, you drafted Adoree Jackson. But I think the Titans probably have to find another cornerback somewhere, whether that's through the draft, whether it's through free agency. I think they need another cornerback in that spot. And then in the secondary, further back, you love Kevin Byard. He's an all-pro. But Jonathan Cyprien probably did not live up to what you were hoping for because of injury and other reasons at safety last year. So do you make another move there? What can you do in the secondary? That's a big question for me. You're going to have to make some moves up front. I think the D-line you feel good about. Linebackers, you maybe try to get younger at some spots. Morgan and Arakpo are both in the final year of their contracts on the outside. Wesley Woodyard was phenomenal last year. Avery Williamson, maybe not as much. So do you make some moves there? Possibly. But I think you're set for the time being up front in terms of having to make a move. The secondary, it still needs to get better. And so that's a challenge for Dean Pease, is either scheme it up or can John Robinson go out and find those guys this offseason? We will find out. All right, we will take another break here. When we come back, we will get back into basketball. College basketball, a lot going on. We'll hear from the Vanderbilt Commodores. They get set for another tilt tomorrow night in the SEC. We'll hear from the SEC Player of the Week as well, and much more. So stay with us. More Sportsline on the way right after this here on News Channel 5+.